Our next new barrel going into the silicone carbide coarse 6090 grit is going to be Sodalite. So this is what Sodalite looks like in the rough. And even though this is a 2-pound bag, which technically is 2/3 of a 3-pound barrel, we really don't really want to put that much in here. We don't want to overload the barrel because then we won't get any circulation. Alright, so let's seal this bag up. And we will keep it for the next run. So Sodalite is going to go into this barrel. And we're back with our Sodalite. It has run for 1 week in coarse grit 6090 silicone carbide. And it did run with ceramic media, which we have already gone through and inspected. And here's our chips, not very many. And this is looking like it's definitely going to require another week in 6090. This is Host Rock on here, but it's got a bit of a different texture. But isn't this a cool piece? And this is completely dry, like for almost a year and a half. We are picking back up from where we left off, April of 2021, and this is July 16th of 22. So let's wet this down. Woo, beautiful. But as you can see, it's still really rough. It has started to smooth down the edges, so that's lovely. You know, maybe I shouldn't have wet this down here. This one's pretty dry. So you can see the texture is still rough. It's not smooth enough to be able to move forward to medium grit. So this whole barrel is going to get a second run in 6090. With the wet on it, with the water on it, you can kind of see the gritty texture, and we want that to be smooth before it moves forward. Along with the corners and edges and whatnot, we would like those more rounded, so this is the stage for shaping. And this can definitely use another week. So yeah, oh, this has got some green moss on it. Alright, let's see. Let's pull the light over. That's just giving us shadow. There, you can see the green moss. Very pretty, lovely stones. I'm really, now that I see the Sodalite rough I don't know why I was making such a big deal of the blue aventurine. Just that it was opaque, and that kind of really threw me, because the rest of the aventurines that we're running are more translucent. Oh wow, look at the pattern on that. I love Sodalite. It's almost like a royal blue. Okay, this was pretty fast and easy. This is going back in 6090. We'll see it next week. Okay, we'll be back with our next barrel. And we're back with our Sodalite. It has been running for 2 weeks in 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit. We're still finding chips in the barrel. And let's take a real look at this beautiful stuff. It's starting to shape nicely, but it requires a lot more work. So we're probably going to stay another couple of weeks in the 6090. We've lost some mass, which is expected. Oh, pine needles. That's what happens when you wash it outside. Yeah, it's really pretty. Beautiful, beautiful colors. It's, what you're seeing is wet, so the shine you're seeing is water, not polish. This has got some green moss with it. It's a nice crossover stone. Huh, pretty cool. This stone has a large pocket, and as you can see, it's definitely catching grit. And instead of, keep putting this particular stone back in the barrel, I'm just going to put it in with our garden stones, and stop the tumbling process right here on this rock, because I just don't want it to continue to damage the other stone. So that became a garden stone. So we don't throw anything away, we just put it in our outdoor garden. Oops. This has got an interesting host rock on it. Again, it's looking like that moss agate, or I'm not really sure. It might even be granite on this one. I'm going to pull this stone out because I just don't want it to contaminate the other stones, because it feels like granite. It doesn't really look like it's sodalite. I think it just got into the rough by accident. I mean, it might have a little bit of sodalite on. I don't know. It's not going in. That I know for sure. Yeah, these are doing nicely. So 2 weeks in 6090. This looks like it's just gonna, get knocked off in the tumbling process. But I was able to break it off with my fingers. So that just happened. And I'd rather it happen here than in a polished stage or something where it would damage all the stones. But because it's going into 6090, it can, or staying in 6090, it'll get shaped out. So this is why we do inspections, because we want to find any problem stones that could ruin the batch going forward. This is so tiny. This is like a pebble. I could put it in the barrel for 6090 and use it as filler. And I think I will. And by the time this continues to get beaten up, you know what? It's going in the Zen garden. Never mind. Zen garden it went. The Zen garden is another project that we're working on. Not to be confused with the garden stones. Or the chip project. Because we've got one of those going too. We have lots of little stuff going. Alright. This was a quick run through because we knew it was going to stay in 6090, but we just wanted to get rid of any problems. This is really cool. Oh, sorry, off camera. This is really cool. I like this one. This one might be my favorite on this batch. Alright, we will see our Sodalite next week. We're going to recharge the barrel, and that's what's happening there. Alright, we'll be right back. Sodalite. It has been in 6090 for 3 weeks, and it's looking well shaped. Let's just take a really good look at it, see what's ready to move on to 120. Now it has kind of a grainy, sandy texture, which will smooth out as we progress with the grits. I really want to move this forward. The shaping seems to really be taking a hold. And things that I normally would have held it back for in the past, we're learning with these softer stones that less time and the heaviest grit is better. Wow. Boy. I mean, you can see, these are wet, but you can really see the texture that I'm talking about, that grainy surface texture. This will tumble out as it gets to the finer grits. I'm thinking this whole batch is ready to move forward. Oh, so that's almost like a moss or a tree agate. But there's Sodalite in there. That one's a little drier. And you can see, like, if this was a jasper, I'd still want it in a 6090 to get rid of all these surface abrasions or surface issues. But because it's a softer stone, I think that the 120 is going to help it more and not beat it up so much. Oh, this one really could stay in 6090. So could this one. This looks like it broke off another piece. And now it's a pebble. So we're going to put it in our Zen garden because I don't like to tumble teeny tiny stuff. Wow. That could really fit. Nice dark blue. Some really good blues in here. Yeah, I'm going to move this forward. We're going to experiment and just let it go. So this is going to get several wash cycles to make sure it's just spotless. And you know, the ceramic media, barrel, everything's going to get a good wash. Then go through wash cycles. And we'll recharge the barrel with medium 120, 220. And then we'll see it next week. Yeah, that's too much work. That looks like it's broken off something. I'm going to Zen garden that. Wow, that was super duper fast. I'm going to look at this real close off camera and see if there's anything else that could really benefit from being in 60/90 again. Most of this is going to go to 120. And we will see it next week. Alrighty. Sodalite. It has been running in 120 for 1 week. And let's take a look and see how it's doing. Beautiful, beautiful color. Oh my gosh, that is so smooth. Remember a couple weeks ago when I was complaining about how grainy the texture felt? 120 sure smooths it out. Wow. Very happy with how it's shaped. Seems to be coming along nicely. Because it's a softer stone, I am not going to put it in 120 for a second week. I think we're going to move this right along to 500 based on what I've seen so far. Wow, it's really pretty. Feels nice. I could probably use another bit of time in 120. See, normally I would have kept that in 60/90 to smooth that out more, but because it's a softer stone, I'm nervous to do that. So I'm letting it go. I let it go to 120. I think that's the case with a lot of these. I just wanted to protect as much mass as I could because we've already lost so much. And that's really has some fracture lines in there. Oof. And you can see there's still a tiny bit of a granular texture to it, but as it goes to 500, 1000, all that's going to get smoothed out. Now, if I had a vibratory tumbler, I would move this to a vibe, and it would spend a lot less time in the cycles, which would cause a lot less damage to the stones, but because we only have rotaries, we're going to baby it. With this experiment, we've been trying to do refine a process that would work for almost everything, and I think that was a little naive. It'll work for anything a Mohs 6.5 and higher. The process that we currently have that's totally done in rotaries, but some of these softer stones, 5.5 and lower, they really do need a vibratory tumbler for the more intermediate and advanced tumbles. Very nice. Very pleased with these. And they're wet from the rinse cycle. This is not a shine. This is just the rinse. Yep, I'm going to continue this off camera. Make sure that there's no chips. Inspect the ceramic media. Make sure everything's looking good there. We're going to do several wash cycles, and then we're going to move this to 500. I feel really confident doing that. Oh. This sodalite is so beautiful. It's like a royal blue. Oh no, that feels so rough. This is not moving forward. Oh, we're going to repair that. I think this one's my favorite piece so far. Yeah. All right, Sodalite's moving forward. Oh no, there's a chip. Which I think came off that other piece I had just a minute ago. Alright, let's make sure there's no more chips in the barrel. Because we know how dangerous that will be to the surface of the stones if it moves forward. Yeah, I would love to work those fracture marks out. It's really just this one here. I'm not all that happy with this particular stone. Yeah, definitely ready for 500. All right, we'll wash cycles, check that ceramic media, look for more chips, and we'll be on with our next barrel. Okay, Sodalite, really, really pretty. Okay, we're back with our Sodalite. It's been running 1 week in 500 aluminum oxide pre-polish. Sorry about the barrels running in the background, but we've got a lot ready for wash. So we want to get those running here while we go through the rest of these barrels. Wow. This is feeling really, really good. It is a softer stone, so it does feel like some damage happened there, but it could have just been because I moved it forward too early. It feels the way it should after 500. It's slick, but it's not that glass slick yet. That's what 1000 will do to it. This is some really dark Sodalite. Now, because it's a softer stone, we did leave a little bit of the natural shaping. We didn't let this run in 60-90 as long as we normally would have, so we're going to see some minor imperfections on this stone. But again, I might rerun this once we get the vibratory tumblers in. I might run it again and then compare it from 100% rotary to a rotary and vibrating system. Wow. Really nice. This is that piece that looks like it has some tree or moss agate on it. Not sure which is which off the top of my head right now. But you've got the Sodalite peeking through. That's funny how that stone grew. Yeah, this is gonna move forward. Okay, very nice. I'm going to continue looking at this off camera to, wow, that's perfect. To make sure that there's no chippage in the ceramic media, because I haven't checked that yet. These have gotten quite small. I don't think they were big to start with, but these are getting really small. Wow. That's really cool. I'm tickled pink that isn't causing undercutting. All right, this is going to get some wash cycles. Then it's going to be moving forward to a week in 1000 pre-polish. Woof. Okay, Sodalite. It's doing really well. Okay, we'll see you next week. And we're back with our Sodalite, which has been in 1000 aluminum oxide pre-polish for 1 week. It is just the prettiest royal blue. feels delightful. Whoop. There. Oh, this is so nice. Praying that we have no breakage in this barrel so that we can send it on. I am feeling a little bit of grit. That polish. May not have rinsed it as well as I should have. Oof. Oh, I'm so happy with this. Well, so far I think this is going to go to a wash. Several wash cycles, and then polish. Well, we'll have 2 barrels in polish for next week. Oh, wow. Look at that blue. Oh. Little bit of a fracture line. Now we did say all the way going through with Sodalite being a softer stone, we weren't going to hold it to the same standards as the rest of the stones that we were doing. We were going to leave some of the natural fracture lines and whatnot because we didn't want to keep tumbling it in coarse because the shrinkage was so high on this stuff. So I think, the next time we run it, because we're doing an experiment with this, is that we're going to run it coarse stage in the rotary, and then everything else is going to be in the vibratory tumblers. But they're still back ordered, so it's going to be a while. So when we do Sodalite again, it'll be with the vibe, and we'll see the difference. Boy, this is so pretty. Yeah, there's still some grit on here. I need to rinse this again. Alright, this is going into several wash cycles and then polish, and we're going to do the aluminum oxide wet polish. I'm not going to do the corn cob dry polish with this. Given how well it looks here in 1000, I think it'll be okay to do a wet polish. That's really pretty. Okay. These aren't the biggest pieces. Oh, that's really super rough. Hang on here. This piece might get held back. Oh, definitely. That is too rough to move forward. We'll hold that back. I'm not gonna... I want to get the best possible outcome on this blue Sodalite here. So we don't want to send, I mean, even though we're allowing some of the fracture marks, we're not going to have that kind of damage. Alright, let's dry this off. So like that fracture line is okay. It's not catching grit or anything. This is chewed up. Yep. Going to polish. Sodalite's turning out better than I had expected. Okay, we'll put this back in. This is going to get a wash cycle. And then we'll swap out the ceramic media for polish media and charge this little barrel with the AO. Whew. Lots of cushioning. I think that's what's helping too, is all this cushioning. Okay. One pop. All right, wash cycles. And we will be back with our appetite. And we're back with our barrels and polish. This is our Sodalite, which has been running in aluminum oxide polish for 1 week. And we also added a tablespoon of borax to the polish this time as an experiment. And it looks real bubbly. So it's kind of interesting. Pull our water aside here. Let's just take a piece out, give it a quick little rinse. Let's dry it off. We're going to need another drier paper towel. Oh, look at that sparkle. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at the shine. Whew. Just perfect. Nice shine. You know, adding the borax to this polish makes it a lot easier to inspect. Because before they were so super heavy with polish that, you know, it was hard to rinse it off. This doesn't have as high a shine on it as I had expected, and the surface feels like there's been a lot of undercutting, and I'm terrified there's a broken stone in this barrel. This is going to have to go back. I'm not happy with that one. That was my favorite piece. Okay, let's just grab a few. Looking for some bigger pieces here. Oops. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get a close up. Uh-oh. Don't like seeing that chipping. I'm concerned that there's been damage in the barrel. But again, these weren't perfect going in, remember, because this is a softer stone. We were concerned. So we kind of let some imperfections go. Nice shine. And these are going to need a burnish cycle. They're still a little bit tiny sticky. We'll get all that polish residue off. Even adding the borax to it, it is still going to require a burnish cycle. Get all the polish out of all the tiny... Whoops, we lost our flash. Got to get that polish out of all these tiny nooks and crannies. Beautiful shine, though. Okay, I'm going to plug my camera in here. It's losing power. I'll be right back. Okay, now we got the camera plugged in. Let's continue on. So this sodalite has imperfections in it because it's a soft stone, and we decided instead of running it in our rotary tumblers longer beating up the stone, we would just let the imperfections come through. So what I'm concentrating here on is the shine, not these little imperfections that are driving me nuts. The shine's beautiful, so it's a success with the aluminum oxide. I have no problem doing sodalite in a wet polish, even though it's softer. But you see all these right here, these imperfections, these cracks and spalling and whatnot. When we get the vibratory tumbler, we're not going to let that pass. We're going to go back to our anal retentive, wanting it to be perfect stones. Boy, these are some dark, dark blue. My paper towels are getting all soppy wet again. Really pretty shine. Not happy with the imperfections, but that's just me. I'm going to run these in a burnish cycle, probably for about 12 hours to a day. And to make sure that in any of these little cracks and crevices, we get all the polish residue out. And then I'll get some photos of it. And then when our vibe comes in, I have more sodalite from this same batch. And we will run an experiment doing coarse stage only in the rotary and then moving everything else to the vibratory tumbler. And we'll see what the difference of, in the process is, what the difference in shine. We'll see if it's better for these softer stones. Sodalite, it's so pretty. All right, we'll take a look at this again. And you know what this means? This means we've got a barrel opening up. So we'll start something new at the end of today's video. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, we are back with our sodalite after a quick rinse. It has not gone into the burnish cycle yet, but I wanted to give you guys a better look. at these pieces once they were rinsed off. They're still a tiny bit damp. But we've got some beautiful shine. There's this piece here that I've been watching all the way through that has some sort of a dark metallic. There it is. There's some mineral in here. It's really cool. It's really dark, has a really neat flash to it. Kind of rainbowy. You only see it when you turn the stone, a certain way. Now again, as we were talking, we let these stones go through without becoming perfect. So we do have some spalling and we have some fracture when the stone was cut up that we did not tumble all the way out. There's that black, interesting mica something or other in it. I'm just saying mica, I could be completely wrong. But that's really cool. And then you've got stones like this that have a lot more of the white mineral in it. So it looks like there's 3 types of minerals in this sodalite. There might be more. So it is prone to some undercutting. So we really should be shortening the run cycles. I was not kind to this stone. Please don't bash me in the comments. I just ran it through 7-day cycles like I did everything else because I'm experimenting and I want to see what is the best cycle for all of these. And these are completely dry now. I'm finding that I'm going to want to try this in a vibratory tumbler so it reduces the amount of time that it spends getting beat up in the rotation. So these were done 7-day cycles for every cycle, stages 1 through 5. We did 2 pre-polishes. So we did a coarse 60-90. We did probably for a couple of weeks. Oh, hang on, I can tell you for sure. Let me just pull my sheet out. We ran Sodalite for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. We did 5 weeks in 60-90, which was probably too long. However, there's still a lot of, maybe it wasn't too long. It was too long because it reduced the size, but there's still, as you see, errors in these stones. Blemishes, not errors. So maybe 5 weeks wasn't enough. Anyway, 5 weeks in stage 1, 1 week in medium, 1 week in 500, 1 week in 1000, and 1 week in polish. All in the rotary. I did not want to keep these in 60-90 because to get rid of all the blemishes because I was afraid we'd have no stone left. So I want to tweak some processes the next time I run it, and I want to do it in a vibratory tumbler and see if that really helps or not. And then I'll probably do a 3rd batch of Sodalite so that we, if I can get the results twice in a row that I want, then I'll say that that's a recipe I want to continue to use. So, I love these experiments. That's a gorgeous stone. And then you turn it over and you have that. It is so disheartening. Okay, I just wanted to come back and show you before it went into the burnish cycle. Alrighty, these are going to go get a really good wash cycle, and then I can get photographs of them for the experiment.